In today's news, BVI's active COVID-19 cases now at 38. ESHS to host their annual spring concert this weekend. Youngsters learn life-saving sea safety thanks to the Virgin Islands Search and Rescue. No poker run, unfortunately, will be held this year. COVID-19 causes cancellation of the CARIFTA Games. And after requesting a COI here in the BVI, former BVI Governor Augustus Jaspert joins forces with Boris Johnson as interim head of the PM's delivery unit, while Johnson is also in the midst of a public inquiry. The Telecommunications Regulatory Commission are set to be launching a media campaign next week, and we have all the details of these stories and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
The win!
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Jaspert is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the...
What's poppin'? What's really big?
Davis has won it for the Lakers!
Welcome everybody. It's Friday, May 14th, 2021. A happy Friday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant, coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get into our newscast, we're looking at some summary items. Of course, the BVI's active COVID-19 cases are now at 38. We have the details of that. Nothing is changing. The problem is not the legislation, says Honorable Fraser. $6.1 million and counting. Premier Foy says high demand for stimulus money for farmers and fisherfolk. Over 1.3 million already deposited to the Transportation Fund, says Premier, and a faulty transformer leaves Anegada without water for 24 hours problem. Now that problem is said to be rectified. We have no poker run. The organizers of the Leverick Bay Poker Run announced via a Facebook post that the next poker run will be in 2022. Of course, this is due to the global pandemic that is COVID-19. Beginning on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands. During the ninth sitting of the third session of the Fourth House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands on May 13th, Minister for Health, the Honorable Carvin Malone, announced that the territory's COVID-19 cases now stands at 38, including 3 local cases. Now, according to Malone, 3 of the cases are classified as local cases contracted within the community, while 4 of the positive cases were detected while screening is part of the travel requirements. Malone credits what he calls the territory's robust and coordinated track and trace exercises for the organized tracking efforts in the BVI. Additionally, continued tracking and trace efforts are being conducted as a result of the 3 local and 4 travel cases in an attempt to limit the spread of the virus throughout the community. 22 of the cases were detected on entry screening, day 0, 8 on day 4, and 1 on screening of a crew member. Since the last announcement on May 6th, there have been additional 13 cases, that is, all of which are said to be asymptomatic. Now, the records show that 10 of the active cases are quarantined on vessels, 25 on Tortola, 2 on Virgin Gorda, and 1 on Anegada. Now, the Virgin Islands has now recorded 248 active COVID-19 cases in total, 209 recoveries, and 1 unfortunate death. Now, so far, some 32,057 samples have been tested at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital laboratory. Island life is full of beauty, but living so close to the water also comes with dangers. That is why the Virgin Islands Search and Rescue, also known as VISAR, which the governor is a patron, have been leading the fantastic work to educate the BVI's young people on beach safety. Now, VISAR welcomed 3rd graders from the Arthur Scatlett Primary School to their base in Tortola, where the children had a go at a knot and tying to learn about the importance of wearing a life jacket while on the water. Now, the team had previously met the same students when they went to the ice skating ring at VISAR's Winter Wonderland fundraiser, and they were so excited to have the opportunity to follow up with the further safety information and see the children. Now, the children were eager to know when the ice ring was going to once again return. 6th grader classes also got a chance to visit VISAR's headquarters. Staff member Julie Schneider told students about the nonprofit side of the organization, the volunteering options available, and how to become a member of the crew. Now, students heard when they were not to call VISAR and when the phone numbers to use for an emergency both on land or at sea would be available. Now, Stephen Ganja, a student, Visor trainee, and a ex-pupil of the Arthur Primary School said, and I quote, "Volunteering teaches the value of willingness to learn. It opens opportunities for success where one gains knowledge and experience firsthand. Volunteering boosts self-confidence and really motivates one to acquire additional skills that can be used at one point or another." Now, the 10 to 11-year-olds heard from Rebecca Nichols from the BVI Swim School on beach safety, including how to avoid dangerous riptides. Children learned how they should spread their arms and legs wide and float on their backs if they get into trouble in the water, and of course, wait for rescue. Now, pupils heard about the technical side of working at Visor, from the benefits of a very high-frequency radio versus program to the phone chart. Water chart is used and coordinated, the roles of life-saving at sea, and of course, in the most exciting part of the day, the students explored parts of the boats and saw extra equipment before getting to have a go into the driving seat. Now, they also learned from trainer Rowley Christopher and crew member Karim Skelton how to use a splint and life jacket, vital skills for any search and rescue officer. Visor, of course, is an independent, volunteer-based nonprofit organization that is funded by charitable donations. It has been saving lives really at sea since 1988, when a team of advisors from the UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office advised the government of the BVI to merge informal search and rescue services to create a dedicated volunteer organization. Visor officially formed at the request of the government, molded on the UK's Royal National Lifeboat Institution, the world's oldest lifeboat service. Governor John Ranking, who is a patron for the service, visited the team based in Virgin Gorda. He said, and I quote, "I'm a proud patron of Visor. The volunteers provide 24-hour cover to keep sea persons safe and have already responded to 5 calls alone this year. Young people are the future of the BVI, so Visor's working inspiring to help children to support the search and rescue services and learn potentially life-saving tips is a blessing." Now, the crew in Virgin Gorda and, of course, on Tortola mirror each other when it comes to training, techniques, and equipment carried on the rescue vessels. Although they face different challenges due to their location, the governor learned the Virgin Gorda crew have the added challenge of keeping a patient who needs medical attention safe while crossing the channel to the main hospital, of course, on Tortola. Now, the team also cover Anegada, which can mean long and potentially rough seas and journey to and from to factor in to the rescue. During his visit, the governor heard how the volunteers work closely with the Royal British Virgin Islands Police Force, the Fire and Ambulance Services, and of course the United States Coast Guard. He learned how they aim to continually upgrade crew training and modernize their boats and equipment to offer the best possible support to the BVI. Now, Visor is internationally recognized by the International Maritime Rescue Federation as a full member. Marine emergencies can be reported by calling 499-0911. Again, that Visor emergency number is 499-0911. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank and, of course, commend Visor for their continued hard work and, of course, in utilizing this opportunity to teach the youth of the territory about safety on the waters. I think it is extremely beneficial to them as they continue to traverse through the beach. Still ahead, after requesting a COI, former BVI Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert has joined forces with Boris Johnson as the interim head of the PM's delivery unit, while Johnson is also in the midst of a public inquiry and, of course, ESHS to host their annual spring concert this weekend. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Gentlemen, aspiring gentlemen, and our partners that hold us down. It's season 2 of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, taking you on the most inspiring journey with the best and brightest distinguished gentlemen of the BVI. Raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men like you've never seen them before. Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert, Jovan Klein, Neil Klein, and so much more. Turning modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen with yours truly, Ron Grant, a 284 Media production. Viewers, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Now continuing on, after requesting a COI here in the BVI, former BVI Governor Augustus J.U. Jaspert joins forces with Boris Johnson as the interim head of the PM's delivery unit, while Johnson is also in the midst of a public inquiry himself. Downing Street has said work to create the new Prime Minister's delivery unit will commence right away, with the former British Virgin Islands Governor Gus Jaspert acting as interim head until permanent chief Dr. Emily Larson is available. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's official spokesman said this week and announced that the unit was being created to provide the strongest possible approach to support the successful delivery of the government's agenda based on the recommendations of a review by Sir Michael Barber. Now, Larson, who is NHS Chief Commercial Officer and the Health Services Vaccine Deployment Lead, will head up the unit from later this year. However, work to build the small team is starting immediately under former governor, that is, Augustus J.U. Jaspert, whose term as BVI governor ended, as we know, in January. Jaspert showed Johnson around the islands after they were hammered, of course, by Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and that's in September of 2017, just weeks after he took up his post in the BVI. And he is now joining Johnson and his team. At that time, Johnson was a foreign secretary. Now, prior to that, Jaspert worked in the Cabinet Office leading on national security and intelligence. He was the private secretary on Home Affairs, issuing in the Prime Minister's office during David Cameron's time in Downing Street. Now, the new delivery unit will include a mix of existing civil servants and new recruits with key skills such as auditors and data scientists, Downing Street said. Work to set up the unit will begin immediately, although the team will be built over time through secondments and recruitment. This, they say, will be a new small team with a great deal of authority focused on delivering for government's priorities. It will be small but powerful. The bulk of the unit will be established in the coming weeks. Now, number 10 said the unit, linked by some of the throwbacks to the Prime Minister's delivery unit introduced under the Tony Blair and headed up by Barber, was in the line with Barber's recommendations on what works best. The unit will work closely with number 10 teams, the Cabinet's office, and the Treasury. It will draw upon the strong skills we already have across the civil service, including in the Cabinet Office and the PM's implementation unit. Now, the current implementation unit was created by David Cameron and George Osborne during the coalition government after the delivery unit was scrapped. Commission of Smart Government Research Director Martin Wheatley said strengthening the delivery capacity was a sensible move on Downing Street's part, but he cautioned that it would not be a cure-all move. Now, the PM is right to learn, he said, from history, that he needs strong capacity linked closely to him to keep on track and drive delivery. He said, however, excellent delivery also requires clear strategy, and we think the PM needs to do more to build strategic clarity about how the level goals like the net zero and leveling up can be tuned into clear set of shifts in policies and programs which a delivery unit can oversee. Of course, we know that Boris Johnson himself is presently in the midst of a COI. The commission is looking into whether or not a recent vacation to Mystique was funded or how it was funded. And in addition to that, there are repairs to his flat. They're wondering and seeking to clarify, because it is alleged that that was done with some campaign money. So we'll continue to keep you up to speed on the international scene. Now, the Elmore Stout High School's music department is this weekend hosting their annual spring concert at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium. That's on Sunday, May 16th at 7:30 p.m. sharp. Since the hurricanes of 2017, the music program has been making strides in rebuilding after losing all of its infrastructure and instruments. Now, this week, Director of the Fine Arts Department, Mr. Andre Bratwith, along with educators, Mr. Brandon Powell and Ronnie Crawford, joined me to discuss the upcoming concert as well as the school's music program. Take a look.
The Fine Arts and the Music and Art departments at the Elmore Stout High School are very, very valuable. Very important. We teach. We just don't teach art and music, but we teach discipline. We teach teamwork, and we have a number of students in the community. Some are very, we've been doing this program from I think the late '70s and the '80s, early '80s, and you've seen so many people come out of the program. You were there as well. I've seen some of your other comrades here working from the program. We happen to be a part of the program as well, even though we're back directing. But what it is in the community itself, without music, there's a lot of things that you're lacking. And for instance, when you go to church, a church without music might sound a little weird. And so we have musicians in the churches. I'm so pleased when I see all my students, when I go to visit different churches, they're playing and they're singing in the churches. There are a number of different bands that have come out over the years. People are performing at hotels, they're performing at shows, they're performing internationally, and they've come out of this Elmore Stout High School music program. And so we've had really great success over the years. Of course, when the hurricanes came, it mashed up, majority of the school was demolished. And so we had a campaign at one point when Mrs. Anna Hill was there. We were able to have an actual concert outdoors at the Pear Park and start to raise some funds. And since that, we've continued to reach out, and people have been, been really good with their giving, thank God. And we continue to, receive from them. A number of different groups have come together at one point. The Maples group, Unite BVI, and the RDA put together and actually gave us, we have the trailer that we're working from because we started from Intense.
Yes.
And we have the trailer that we're working in right now, so it's a little bit more comfortable. We do still need more space, but at a time like this where there's so many different challenges, we're thankful that we have some place to work out of. And after COVID came last year, you realized that we didn't have a concert for that entire year. So now, the students are excited, the parents are excited, and the community has been asking, when are you guys going to do a concert? So, what we've been able to do is we just started back these few ensembles that we're representing at this concert this Sunday. We started back in February. We weren't able to get all of the ensembles going at the time because of the different protocols and different things that are happening with the time and so forth with the school. But we're trying to make sure we put a good showing out there as we've done before. Definitely look forward to expecting the same level and class of music from our students, our awesome students at the Elmore Stout High School.
That was Director of the Elmore Stout High School Fine Arts Program, Mr. Andre Bratwith. Of course, viewers, you are encouraged to support these students this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium, where they will be showcasing an array of talent. We're so happy to see the music program come back. Viewers, still ahead, Telecommunications Regulatory Commission is set to launch a media campaign, and COVID-19 causes the cancellation of the CARIFTA Games. We have all the details and so much more after a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer.
You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back. We are continuing on the local scene. The Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, also known as TRC, is launching a media campaign to educate the Virgin Islands community about the functions of the Commission. Now, in the coming weeks, the public can expect to hear about the TRC's roles and functions as well as its mission to facilitate high telecommunications infrastructure and services standards in the British Virgin Islands. Recently, the Commission has seen an increase in a public outcry concerning the quality of telecommunication services in the Virgin Islands. Now, with the renewal of the network provider license, the TRC is taking the time to educate the public, being completely transparent, they say, about the process. Adhering to the international standards, after 15 years, the TRC is now able, they say, to review the licensing process for telecommunications operations. The focus is on the development of the industry and ensuring that the public's interest is, of course, protected. Now, the launch event that's coming up will cover the importance of the telecommunications industry and how the Commission seeks to aid in the development within the local market. It will also cover how the TRC will communicate with the community from here on out and details of this year's annual video competition. Now, the Commission's overall goal with the upcoming activities is to create the public awareness about the TRC's role within the industry, educate and inform persons about the licensing process for telecommunications service providers, and gain confidence in the Commission's operations. On the regional scene out of Hamilton, Bermuda, the off and on again CARIFTA Games, the region's annual junior athletics showpiece set to be staged in Bermuda this year, has now officially been off because of the coronavirus pandemic regulations organizers have announced. Now, the news that young athletes around the Caribbean and in particular in Bermuda have dreaded was finally confirmed this week by the governing body of the North America, Central American and Caribbean Athletics Association. Donna Raynor, the president of the Bermuda National Athletic Association, said she was disappointed by the cancellation. Now, Guyana, which stepped aside for the first postponement last year, will be the host for the Games in 2022. The scheduling of the Games has been beset by the problems since the original postponement from April 2020, not long after the onset of the global pandemic COVID-19. A spike in COVID-19 cases in Bermuda from mid-December into the turn of the year led to new dates around Easter weekend 2021 being scrapped totally. Now, this was followed by a move to the first week of July, which was then changed because of an unforeseen clash with school examination dates in the Caribbean. Now, NACAC and the local organizing committee led by Raynor finally settled on August 13th to the 15th, but a succession of changes in public health regulations brought on by the arrival of a dangerous variant of COVID-19 on the island, which has contributed to 19 deaths since April 1st to push the overall total to 31, and an aggressive vaccination program have had a damaging knock-on effect. Keith Joseph, the NACAC General Secretary, said in a statement, and I quote, "NACAC understands the impact that another cancellation of our premier annual junior competition will have on our young athletes. Unfortunately, we have carefully taken all factors into consideration and are left with no option but to cancel the CARIFTA Games 2021. Among those factors are the Bermuda government's mandatory 14-day quarantine policy for unvaccinated travelers at their own expense, accommodation arrangements that have been well below the required number of rooms for the traditional CARIFTA Games, and the lack of additional funding available in the local organizing committee. While Bermuda allows athletes from 16 years to be vaccinated, the majority of our CARIFTA family members are in countries where the authorities only allow vaccinations for persons 18 years and older. Joseph continued, "We cannot host the event without the under-17s who, from our vantage point, are an integral part to the event, as well as the under-20s. We are not agreed to having an additional addition to the CARIFTA Games that does not engage the traditional categories and which disenfranchises a significant number of the athletes. Now, the Games, first held in 1972, was set to be staged in Bermuda for the 5th time. During the 2004 renewal here, Jamaica's Usain Bolt really signaled his future greatness at just age 17. He was later on becoming the first junior athlete to break a 20-second mark over 200 meters, crossing the winning line in 19.3 seconds. We do wish our athletes here in the BVI as well as across the Caribbean the very best, and we do understand the disappointment in the canceling of yet another CARIFTA Games. Viewers, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Over there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power? The win.
What in the hell?
I'm freaking out.
Jaspert is about these people.
It's always a pleasure coming to you live and direct from the
What's poppin'? What's really deep?
Davis has won it for the
Viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily updates at 284media.com, and of course like us on Facebook at 284media and at 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant, and it's always a pleasure. We will see you again on Monday as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We're 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news right here on 284 Media. I want to take this time to wish you a happy Friday, to have a wonderful weekend, and be safe. Bye-bye.